On episode number 748 of Into Your Head, some very profound thoughts about reservation numbers for the Argos catalogue store, and lots more. Absolutely fucking fantastic. Hello. Incidentally, no, that doesn't matter. That doesn't matter at all. That'll be in the description. Anyway, on with the opening theme tune. Into your head. Into your head, into your head, into your head, into your head. We've a lot to get on with today. Items that need to be attended to, issues that need to be addressed, topics. Topics. We've got lots and lots of topics. We're positively booming to the seams with topics. We've got topics coming out of this stray paracetamol tablet. There's probably no topics coming out of it because I haven't consumed it. In order to get anything out of a tablet like this, you have to consume it. I'm not going to consume it at the moment because I've no need to. You don't just pop pills for no reason just to illustrate a point on a podcast. No, this can stay here. It's only there because it fell out of its packaging. It's bubble. It's sealed, child-proof packaging. It came out somehow. I'm not a child, so I was able to accidentally extract this from its packaging. A child wouldn't, I presume. Although is it child-proof? I don't know. Now that you mention it, maybe it's not. Maybe it's just there to stop people taking 25 of them in one mouthful without thinking. A child would do that without thinking anyway, because children don't think. Children don't think because their brains aren't fully developed yet. Yeah, the male brain, for example, as far as I understand from listening to Dr. Drew, doesn't develop fully until your early 20s. Up until then, you're basically just a blob. You're a blob of brain tissue that's barely functioning. You've got blood going round in it, keeping it alive. You've got thoughts going round in it, but they're not any thoughts that would be considered to what do you call it? To be, what's the word for to be? I suppose to be is fine. It just sounds a bit crap. You have to use sophisticated word. To consist, no, not consist of. It's the opposite of consist. Whatever. Comprise or something like that. Anyway, thoughts that would in any way comprise or amount to a proper adult human being. No, because we don't consider people to be adults until they can think properly and think adult things, like, for example, I have to go to work this morning, I better put on my uniform, my shirt and tie and suit, because I'm an adult, so I'm a slave to society, and I put on a suit and I go to work. That's how adults are supposed to think. You're certainly not supposed to sit in front of your computer with a list of things that you've booked to purchase in Argos this afternoon that he reserved. I didn't mention that because I restarted this segment. In the original version of this segment, I started by discussing this list that's in front of me of reservation numbers of things that I'm buying at the Argos catalogue store later today. But that's irrelevant. That's of no relevance whatsoever. It was relevant in the original version of this segment, which I discarded. Well, it's not relevant anymore. So I suppose in a way you could say it's not the same segment at all. It's a completely different segment. If you want to be like that, if you want to be picky, you probably do. Do you want to be picky? You might as well. Why not be picky? Why not be picky? This is the internet after all. It's the place where you troll everybody. You go on and say, hello, here's your YouTube video, it's horrible, I hope you die and catch AIDS, except in the opposite order, in reverse chronological order, I hope you die and catch AIDS, just like Professor Stephen Hawking would say. Let's not get bogged down in Professor Stephen Hawking's theory of time going backwards again. Suffice to say, hello and welcome to the show. No trolling. Hello. 2 items which I've just reserved to purchase in the catalogue store Argos. Walk into a bar. one of the items goes straight up to the bar counter and says, "Hello, I'm reservation number 039086. Davidoff cool water wave for women, 100 mils. Can I have a pint of your finest Guinness, please?" And the man behind the bar says, "Oh, you shouldn't be giving out your reservation number in public like this. Someone might play a prank on you and go cancel it before you get to the shop." And the reservation number 039086 says, "Oh no, don't worry about it. It's fine. It's all under control. I'll have bought this before this conversation is published here in the bar, however that means. So don't worry about it." And I believe if anyone did hear this later and go and try and cancel this number, they'd be cancelling someone else's reservation, because my understanding is they reuse these reservation numbers every couple of days. I've noticed that from studying the numbers, from studying myself, I suppose, because I am one of the reservation numbers. Now, there's the question. I forgot. I didn't listen to the beginning of this story. Am I an Argos reservation number, or am I an Argos reservation? Or are those two different things at all? I think they should be, surely. The reservation is a thing. The reservation number is a thing. And the item that the reservation number relates to is a thing. In fact, it's a number of things, because they'd have more than one bottle of Davidoff cool water wave for women there, surely. I believe, well, you can tell when you're booking. It says, "Oh, we've 3 of these in stock." And the man behind the bar says, "No offence, sir or madam, but none of this is of any of my concern, and there's people behind you queuing, waiting for it to be served too. So can I get you a pint of my finest Guinness, as you just requested?" I probably don't need to ask that, because you've already placed your order. So never mind, don't answer that, I'll just get on with it. And the reservation number 039086 says, "Oh, sorry about that. I didn't realise there were people queuing. I'm not used to bars where people queue in an orderly fashion. What the freaking hell kind of place is this? This is weird. People don't queue at bars. They gather around and stand around and wave at the barman and try and attract his attention, and they gawk at people who are sitting at the bar and stuff like that." And the man behind the bar says, "I'm sorry, sir, did you say something?" And reservation number 039086 says, "No, I didn't. That was my friend over there, number 039206, who's a dish rack. He's sitting there with 039085, which is a small cheap kettle for upstairs, for when you want to have a hot drink at night. What else is there? Oh, there's that other one, that's printer cartridges. I'm not going to bother reading out the number there, because these reading out numbers becomes a little bit tiring after a while. Although I'm not reading out his number. He's my friend who I'm drinking with. I know his name. I don't have to read it out. Although he does have a label on him, so if I wanted to, I'd probably... It's like being at some sort of seminar where everyone's got their name on a little tag on the front of them, isn't it? And the man behind the bar says, "It is indeed. In fact, it's a bit weird, if you don't mind me saying so." Why would you mind me saying so? Because that's no slur on you. And the reservation number, however it was, 039086 says, "Indeed, it's not. Indeed, it's not. You know what's just occurred to me? If I were to come back here in a couple of days, assuming I'm a reservation number and not a reservation, if I were to come back here in a couple of days, the same reservation number that I am now, I would correspond to a different item of stock for a different person, because they reuse the numbers. But if I'm the reservation rather than the reservation number, then I'll just be dead. It'll be like when Data on Star Trek, if he gets killed and then they reuse his body, Data the android, and they start a new android using the same equipment. It'll be a bit like that." And the man behind the bar says, "Oh, that's a very profound thought. You should end the segment here." I've always been a great believer in the dictum, "Ask not what you can do for your country, just get up off your fat lazy backside and go and do it, and find out if it works. And then if it works, then you find out it's something that can be replicated by other people. Then go and spread the word, say, I've discovered something that we can do for our country that's easy to do." Or maybe it's not easy, maybe it's difficult. Just because something's not difficult doesn't mean you shouldn't try to do it. People say that. They say, and you see this all the time, they say, "Oh, in order to achieve such a thing, it would be quite difficult. We'd have to do a lot of difficult stuff. And you see someone else going, oh, well, don't bother then. Let's just sit on our arses and never achieve anything. No, you shouldn't never achieve anything. You should get up off your backside and go and do stuff. Like they used to say on that children's television program on English television. It was called Why Don't I'll do the theme song for you, will I? I'm sure it's nobody minds the copywriting or anything. Why don't you just switch off the television and go out and do something less boring instead? It was on in the weekday mornings, I believe, during the school summer breaks. It was very clever. They basically they sold you a television program. They say, come and watch this, children. We've got a television program for you here on the BBC. Come and watch it. Come and sit on the sofa in front of the television. And then they spend half an hour lecturing about how you should go out and do something else. That's the BBC for you. All about education. You're not allowed to relax and be entertained for 5 minutes if you're a child. You come back from school after a long day and you sit in front of the television trying to wind down, and they try and educate you further. Imagine if you did that to grown adults. If grown adults came home and they made them watch some frigging educational program, you wouldn't take that. You wouldn't come home from your office and expect to watch a clerical program. Unless it's the situation comedy The Office, I suppose, which is entertainment rather than educational. Although that was originally created by the BBC, and it was rather BBC Two-ish originally. Although, no, wait a minute, it was a Channel 4. No, it wasn't. It was BBC Two. Once upon a time, there was a dog, and the dog was French. He was a French dog, and you're probably wondering, the more educated among you, the more multinationally aware among you, the more culturally elite among you, the ones among you who aren't as thick as the average human being. No offense to the average human being. Why would I want to offend the average human being? Because the average human being is probably listening to this. But no, the more intelligent and less moronic among you will be wondering, why is the French dog not called un chien rather than just a dog pronounced in a weird faux French accent? I suppose that's a reasonable question. It's a reasonable question. Well, the answer to that is because, as I've explained many times in this podcast before, and I'm going to go, blue in the face from explaining it. Enough is enough. I'm not going to keep explaining it over and over again. So except this one last time, I like how the word dog sounds when I speak it into this microphone. Now, it mightn't sound as amazing to you because you're listening to a condensed MP3 file, but when I speak the word dog into this microphone and I listen to it here in the raw fullness, live on my joint headphones here, it sounds absolutely fucking fantastic. It sounds like I'm some sort of a radio DJ, except one who's cultured and talks about dogs, rather than talking about, I don't know, whatever what do radio DJs talk about? I don't know, probably the weather. They say, hello, you're listening to the red hot sound of Weather and Music 106. We'll have music coming up in a moment, and if you're listening to this backwards, there's more music coming up in a moment too, and it's probably got satanic messages underneath it, so don't let your children listen to this station backwards. That'll be the next thing now. Thank Christ they don't still have videotapes, because if it was, they'd have to say, this videotape movie is parental guidance if you watch it backwards, but if you watch it forwards, it's general audience. They'd have to do that now. So thank Christ that isn't the case anymore. Well, I suppose suppose it's fine. It's not really a legitimate concern. Well, it would be a legitimate concern if there was cause for it, but there isn't. There isn't really. Let's be honest. Why not? Let's be honest for a moment. If we're going to talk about dogs in a fresh French accent, we might as well be honest, because you're not going to get much done on this planet unless we're all honest to each other. I can go up to you in the street and say, "Hello, you look great," but if it's a lie, it's not helping you in any way. It's just giving you a false sense of pride. It's making you inappropriately happy. And if there's one thing you shouldn't do, is make people inappropriately happy and content, because it means they'll just stay like that for the rest of their lives and never achieve anything further and just be happy and content with themselves. That's the worst thing you could do to someone. Make them happy and content. Don't be doing that. That's a cruel trick to play on someone. And if you do that, you're a cunt. You're a cunty, cunty wanky cunt. You might have noticed today I've added the parental guidance logo to the artwork for the show now. I'll be rolling it out over the next while. There's a reason for that. I think I've just demonstrated.
Into your head.
Do you wear shoes? You probably do. I've been doing some demographic research into my listeners, and I've come to the conclusion that many of you wear shoes. So next time you need shoes, go to my new affiliate shoe store. Just go to intoyourhead.com and click on the shoe ad down the left, and you'll find it links to a shoe store. It's in New York or somewhere. They do free shipping to anywhere in the United States. They have an easy returns policy of some sort. Basically, they sell shoes, and if you buy your shoes from them, I get a generous commission. It's absolutely fucking fantastic. So next time you need shoes, go to intoyourhead.com and click on the shoe ad down the left column. Absolutely fucking fantastic. You're listening to the internet. Now, I know what you're thinking there. You're thinking, I wonder what he's going to talk about next. I wonder what items of discussion is he going to point his thoughts in the direction of now. I wonder what's he going to say, basically. That's what you're thinking. You're thinking, I wonder what he's going to say. Now, that's a bit much, if you don't mind me saying so, because for one thing, I don't have an agenda here. I make it up as I go along. But for another thing, if you're thinking to yourself, I wonder what he's going to say, then you might as well be saying, I'm thinking. Look, I'm thinking. That's like that's getting a bit much, because that's like when you're lying awake in the middle of the night and you think, I'm breathing. I can never stop breathing. I have to continue breathing, and become obsessed with it, and you think, Christ, this is tiring. I have to spend every waking hour thinking of the fact that I'm breathing and concentrating on never having a break from it. Oh no, it gets like that. You can't be doing that. You can't be saying, I'm wondering such a thing. No. You can't be going, I'm thinking right now, I'm thinking about the following thoughts, and now I'm thinking about the fact that I'm thinking about the following thoughts, and now I'm thinking about the fact that I'm thinking about the fact that if I carry this on any much longer, I'm going to have a nervous breakdown. My nerves will break down. They'll snap. They'll snap into two pieces, because that's what happens with nerves. They're not just electrical pulses. They're little tubes through which electrical pulses flow. I assume they are anyway. I'm not a brain surgeon, obviously. Brain surgeons don't do independent small independent small cult podcasts that go on for several years and no one listens to. No. Brain surgeons have more important things to do than that, or so they think anyway. They think, look at me, I'm patching up people's brains. I'm patching up. No, you're not. You're not doing anything. You're not doing. A brain is just a series of, as your man in the American Congress, who's dead now, the old fella, said about the internet, it's a series of tubes. That's what the brain brain is as well. Except most of the stuff in the brain, apart from the tubes, there's nothing in there at all except metaphorical stuff. It's just your mind. It's not real at all. It's just a collection of. It's not even ones and zeros because the mind isn't digital. It's just basically an invisible cloud. It's theoretical. So if you're a brain surgeon, you're just messing around with clouds. That's like saying I'm a public. I'm a street cleaner. Except I don't do the street. I do the space overhead above the street. I keep the clouds clean and the air clean. I just go around with my brush, pushing around any pollutants that are in the air. Oh no, that's what you might as well be if you're a brain surgeon. You're just a glorified street cleaner, except you don't achieve anything. At least a street cleaner cleans up crap off the road. How much crap do you clean up, brain surgeon? You do nothing. You get out your tweezers and your stencil, however that equipment is called, and you open up someone's brain and you say, oh, there's something that doesn't belong in here. I'm going to take that out. I'm going to remove it. I'm going to put it in the bin because there's nothing more. You find crap in someone's head and you take it out and you put it in the bin. That's all you do. You're not adding on extensions to their brains. You're not creating new bits of brain for them. At least with the other types of surgeon. If you're doing something to my leg, you might be putting in a splinter or something. At least you're adding something to it. If you're a brain surgeon, you're the equivalent of the fella who buys an old shop and just turns it into what do you call it? One of those pop-up shops that just open for a day or two and they sell crap and they never put in any proper infrastructure at all. They just treat it as a shell of a building. Oh no, that's no way to be living at all, brain surgeons. Get a fucking grip.
You're listening to
the Into Your Head podcast
from Ireland with your humble proprietor, Neal.
Follow Neal at twitter.com/intoyourheadpod and pretend to like him at facebook.com/intoyourheadpodcast.
Two brain surgeons walk into a bar. One of the brain surgeons goes straight up to the bar counter and says, hello, can I have a pint of your finest non-alcoholic Guinness, please? And the man behind the bar says, oh, I'm sorry, sir, there's no such thing. Guinness, I believe, did have a low alcohol beer called Kaiser or something in the 90s for a brief period, but I don't think that exists anymore. And it wasn't a Guinness type of beer anyway. It was just made by the same people, if I remember rightly. Although I'm open to correction there. I should probably do a Google search and check my facts, because this is just based on advertisements I used to watch as a teenager on the television. Although if they're advertisements on the television, they're paid for by the people who make the product, so they're going to be accurate. They're not going to just say, we've a product called Kaiser, except the product isn't called Kaiser. No, they'll get those facts right. They'll lie through their teeth about the quality of the product, but they'll get the name and the brand right. They won't just fucking throw away money like that. The brain surgeon says, pint of your finest alcoholic Guinness then. And the man behind the bar says, sir, would you mind not calling it alcoholic Guinness? We don't like associating the word alcoholic with what we sell in here. That's not good. Just say normal standard Guinness with alcohol in it. It's not alcoholic. You're not an alcoholic just because you purchase a pint of Guinness. At least I hope you're not, because I understand you're a brain surgeon at the local hospital. I hope to Christ you're not an alcoholic. And the brain surgeon says, well, we're about to find out, aren't we? Because I'm about to have my first non-alcoholic beer in 25 years. We'll find out whether I'm an alcoholic in about 20 minutes from now. And the man behind the bar says... Christ, this explains why my medical insurance premiums are going through the roof. And the brain surgeon says, if they're going through the roof, you just need to have house insurance as well for that to deal with your roof damage. And the man behind the bar says, have you been drinking already, sir? And the brain surgeon says, no, I was just Oh, I was just having a smoke on this pipe here. This pipe. And the brain surgeon says, did you get that from the gents? And the brain surgeon says, yes, I did. It was just lying there under the sink. Is that a problem for you? I think it was left behind by your plumber. And the man behind the bar says, no, I'd rather you leave that, sir, because that might be valuable copper. I could sell that, get a few quid for that on the white market, not the black market. I do stuff on the white market here, especially if it's being broadcast. And the brain surgeon says, so you're saying you're going to pay taxes on the sale of this copper pipe if you manage to sell it to someone? And the barman says, no, I'm not saying that. I'll only pay taxes if I'm liable for taxes on them. I haven't consulted my tax advisor yet on that issue. But if tax is payable on them, I'll pay them, because I'm a law-abiding citizen of this country. And brain surgeon says, oh, good for you. If I ever get you in under my microscope, I'll do my best to fix whatever is wrong with your brain if something goes wrong with your brain, because you're a fine, upstanding citizen. Thank you for letting me know that, because every time I have someone in for brain surgery, I have to make a moral judgment as to whether or not they're a good person who deserves to be repaired. And that's a decision, frankly, I don't want to have to be lumbered with every time I do brain surgery. It's hard enough as it is. A bit stressful. Surely that sort of stuff should be handled by the priest or the judicial system or something like that. And the man behind the bar says, you have a pint there, sir. A pint of my finest Guinness. And they both laugh. And then 20 minutes later, the brain surgeon relapses into alcoholism. And the terrible night is had by all. Good morning.
You've been listening to Neal tell you stories. About cats, probably. Neal talks a lot about cats. Send your topic suggestions to studio@interyourhead.com.
Please stop listening to the program now, as it has come to its natural conclusion. Please either select another episode or go and listen to a different podcast, such as, for example, let's see, you could listen to The Overnightscape with Frank Edward Nora. You could listen to Daniel Ruse Tyson is available. You could listen to lots of stuff. There's a whole world of podcasting available to you, you know. It's not just me, there's others as well. You know. There's a remarkable amount of choice in the world. Unlike people, with people you just have men and women. With podcasts you have 855,000 different types, different species, all sorts of, you have comedy, sport, you have comedians interviewing other comedians, you have music, except not much because it's illegal to play most commercial music on podcasts. Well, apart from that, no, a world of choice, enjoy.